an experiment in regards to bark texture. Not quite sure how to go about this. Let's see. I think I'll instead of using this as the outer bark, I'm going to use that as the inner bark. So by doing that, I will actually not make the bevel go in, because that's going to make polygons crash and stuff. I'm going to make the bark go out. Yes. It's going to leave less I'm going to create less trouble, really. I'm wondering if I can kind of like see if I set, let's see, set that to 50, set this to, I don't know, I'm just gonna choose, okay, I'm gonna choose blue, luminosity, just pump that up a lot. We'll see if I can see, yeah, you can see the thickness, which is kind of neat, right? The problem is, or the challenge, so to speak, is that the thickness is the same all around, right? Or is it somewhat thicker here, perhaps? But this is too thin for it to be bark on the lower part of the tree, the trunk. Let's give this loop a go. So we'll select that. Yeah, I'll just delete it for now. I shouldn't, but since I'm just testing this, the reason why I shouldn't delete it is because I'm going to fracture it later on. But then I'll select, yeah. So that means that I now got selected the outer part of the tree. Yeah, nice. Why should I do that? Well, I'll copy it to another layer, and then I'll go with point normal move, I guess, and I'll move that slightly outwards. So that's gonna be the new trunk thickness, or close to it. But of course, it's not what I want in this area. But I'm going to use that as a reference. So, going back to this one, I'm just going to select the outer one, and then how should I do this? What I could do, let's see, I could loop this, let's see, I could loop this one, extend it, and then I could use, that's wrong, then I could use heat shrink, closest point, yeah, to make that trunk thicker, and that, you know, oops, I'm out. And that should be quite alright. Could also then loop it and scale it down slightly manually. But you can see that it's not quite what I want. I want more thickness on these guys as well. So I'll loop those. but I think, I'm not sure if I should do this manually or not, but I think that's what I'll do for now. Okay, so loop these guys and then expand that selection, contract, let's see. Oh, that was wrong. I need to select those loops. Loop, expand, 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 contract, further. Looks like I selected too many of these guys. So there is another way as well. And why did it select? Oh, it looped it. But I'll just deselect these guys manually for now. I'll just go like this. Actually, I want this one. Oh, those should have been selected. I don't know. I thought I said loop. Ah. Okay, something went wrong in regards to that. I don't know what. Maybe I got trigons or something like that. I'll just select this manually. Anyway, this is one way going about creating bark with thickness. So once again, heat shrink. You can see the reference in the background. It's, let's see. Yeah, so maybe I want to go like 50% on these guys. So obviously this is not 100% correct, but you know, no one is going to focus on that anyway, right? No one is going to like zoom in and say, go like, hey, that's wrong, that's the wrong thickness. Hopefully. But yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. There's also another way going about it, which is kind of like similar, and that is that you use you create endomorphs, and then you use the airbrush tool to morph between the states. I'll put a link to that, but that's more like, it's more of a hassle. You'll have to go use multiple methods. But right here you can see that maybe I should have tweaked this somewhat. But alright, anyway. So you can certainly see that this is full thickness, and then it gets less and less and less and less and less, right? Pretty much. So let's go back to the original, because I want to see how this actually looks. So I'll copy this to another layer, and well, this one is not used, so I'm gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna go like this. That's strange, I thought. Okay, so that's, huh. Alright, wrong surface, I guess. Because now this has a thickness to it, of course, so you can see what that is. But I'm just going to test run it, and of course you can send this to Blender, Houdini, or whatever. If you do that, remember to close this area. Guess I could just do that, loop it, and E, T, and move that down. And then I'll just say loop these guys as well. Then I'll merge that with a fixed offset of, I don't know, 10 millimeter? 20. That seems... no. 40 then. Yeah, okay. Just remember to put that back to automatic. But yeah, so we made some bark thickness on that. And let's fracture this. I'm just gonna go use the default, because this is just a rough test anyway. Could use this one, but nah. So I'm just giving you one method to create bark thickness. See that? Sexy. So it kind of works. Right. This here is probably due to LightWave not going about it right. Could try detail it a line, but yeah. So that might be the fracture tool getting into problems, but I mean, if you're doing this for a film, then nobody's going to notice that anyway. But just wanted to show you there on how you could create some thickness to that tree. Okay, here you can see that it's not 100% what I wanted. So maybe I should have tripled it first, or I think maybe I should have done that. I should have tripled it. Maybe I should just do that over again. Because when using that thicken. I mean, these polygons are going to be in. They will be, what's it called? They will be non-planar. Or, yeah, kind of. They can be unplanar. Or not parallel. So that's why it will, or it can create problems. So I'll triple it. And try this over again. Same procedure as last year. Let's have a look. I still got some issues, but that's why you might want to send it to Blender. If that's of concern that you have those small glitches, then yeah, try Houdini or Blender. Blender is actually slightly better, at least in my tests, when it comes to creating nice geometry when fracturing. So, well, this was a rough test. Anyways, just wanted to give it a shot. So of course that means that you would then, let's see, oh, let's triple this one as well. One second. So loop that, delete, take this, take this one, delete, take that one. Come on, where are you? Oh, yeah, I should flip these guys. Take these guys, loop, and P for polygon. Now you have the inner part of the tree. So you got that, you got that. Let's see, 7, 8. So you see, you got both the inner part of the tree and the outer, or the bark. So there it is. So you'll of course have to fracture this as well. But yeah, so far so good, sort of. Yeah, because you'll have to tweak this and that. Yeah, that's probably my fault. I probably did something wrong there. Yep.